Welcome, grab a popcorn, relax, you will enjoy this story, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel.
Your life's already over. Boss, people are watching.
Kelechi released the man, but his breathing was heavy.
Find out who caused this. Find everyone involved. Yes, boss.
Kelechi looked around again. Power had opened doors for him. Money had bent men. Fear had cleared roads. But none of it could bring Zikora back if she was gone. He stood there with blood on the road in front of him and felt something break inside his chest. He had wanted to own her. He had wanted to win her. But now, all he wanted was to hear her insult him one more time. To see her eyes open. To know she was alive. Far away from the accident scene, Zikora was not dead. Victor had found her. He had been nearby when the accident happened. When he saw people gathering and heard someone mention a young woman, he ran forward and found Zikora lying weak and bleeding but still breathing. Fear almost stopped his heart. He did not take her to a public hospital because he was afraid Kelechi would find her there. Instead, he carried her into a taxi and took her to his small studio. Victor's studio was behind his mother's house. It was small, filled with canvases, paint, old brushes, and dreams he had not yet sold. When Mrs. Grace saw him carrying Zikora in, she nearly screamed.
Victor, what have you done?
She's hurt.
You brought her here. Do you want us all to die?
Mommy, she needed help.
You should have taken her to the hospital.
And let Kelechi's men find her?
Grace looked at Zikora, then at her son.
This girl will bury us.
Victor ignored her and cleaned Zikora's wounds as best as he could. He called a young doctor he knew and begged him to come secretly. By night, Zikora opened her eyes.
Zikora.
She looked around, weak and confused.
Where am I?
My studio. You had an accident.
My parents.
They are safe for now.
She tried to sit up, but pain stopped her. Victor held her gently.
Please don't move.
Zikora looked at him and saw the fear on his face. Then she heard Grace's voice outside, crying as she spoke to someone on the phone.
If Kelechi finds out she's here, he will kill my son.
Zikora closed her eyes. She could not let that happen. Later, when Victor stepped out to get medicine, Zikora forced herself up. Every part of her body hurt, but fear pushed her forward. She left the studio quietly. She did not know where she was going. She only knew she could not stay there and put Victor's life in danger. By morning, one of his men saw her near a roadside clinic. Blade received the call. Kelechi was there before anyone could stop him. Zikora was sitting outside the clinic, weak and pale, when a black car stopped in front of her. She knew before the door opened. Kelechi stepped out. For one moment, he did not move. He only stared at her. Alive. Injured. But alive. Something came over his face that Zikora had never seen before. It was not anger. It was not pride. It was not control. It was relief so deep it almost looked like pain. He walked towards her slowly.
Zikora.
She tried to stand. He reached for her, but she moved back.
Don't touch me.
I thought you were dead.
I wish I had died before you found me.
Do not say that.
It is the truth.
I am taking you home.
I have a home.
You are not safe there.
I am not safe with you either.
His jaw tightened.
I would rather die than marry you.
Kelechi's face became cold again, as if he had locked away the man who had just been afraid of losing her.
If I cannot have you, no one can.
Then kill me.
The words hit him harder than he expected. For a few seconds he could only look at her. Then he turned to Blade.
Put her in the car.
Zikora struggled, but she was too weak. Blade looked uncomfortable, but he obeyed. Kelechi took her back to his mansion. That night, Zikora stood in one of the large rooms, still weak from the accident. Kelechi came in and closed the door behind him. She backed away immediately.
Stay away from me.
You keep running.
Because you keep chasing me.
I almost lost you.
You never had me.
He came close and reached for her face. Zikora turned away. His hand stopped in the air. For one dark moment, anger and desire fought inside him. He wanted to make her understand that she belonged to him. He wanted to erase every man before him, every refusal, every insult. But then he saw the fear in her eyes. Real fear. Not pride. Not defiance. Fear. Something in him pulled back. He stepped away from her. Zikora breathed shakily. Kelechi's voice became lower.
I will not force you like that.
She looked at him shocked. He straightened his jacket, as if that could hide what had almost happened.
We will wait until the wedding night.
Zikora's stomach turned. Before leaving, he stopped at the door.
If you run again, your parents will suffer for it.
The door closed behind him. Zikora stood alone in that beautiful room and understood the truth. She was trapped deeper than before. The next morning, she agreed to marry him. Not because she wanted him. Not because she forgave him. Because her father's case disappeared the same day she agreed. Inspector Daniel came home, free but ashamed. He could not look at his daughter at first. Zikora held his hand.
My child, I was supposed to protect you.
You did.
She whispered, though they both knew it was not true. The wedding day came quickly. Kelechi made it grand. Powerful people came. Businessmen, politicians, officers, family friends, and people who wanted to be seen near the Obiora name. Zikora wore an elegant white wedding dress. She looked beautiful, but her eyes carried no joy. Mrs. Rose cried quietly when she saw her. Inspector Daniel stayed close to his daughter, as if someone might pull her away if he blinked. Before they walked down the aisle, Zikora turned to both her parents.
Walk with me together.
Both of us?
I don't want Daddy to carry this pain alone.
Inspector Daniel closed his eyes for a moment. Then he took one arm, and Mrs. Rose took the other. Together, they walked their daughter toward the man none of them wanted. Kelechi stood at the front, dressed like a prince, his face calm, but his eyes followed Zikora as if nothing else in the room existed. Victor was there too. He looked broken. Mrs. Grace sat beside him, holding her handbag tightly. She kept whispering prayers under her breath. The priest began the ceremony. Zikora stood beside Kelechi, her heart pounding. Nobody knew that some hours earlier she had taken her father's gun. She had hidden it carefully. Now, before the vows could begin, she pulled it out.
The hall erupted in shock. Mrs. Rose screamed. Zikora!
Zikora pointed the gun at Kelechi. Her hands were shaking, but her eyes were clear.
I would rather die than marry you.
Put it down.
No.
Victor stood.
Zikora, don't!
Kelechi sighed softly.
If you shoot me, everyone here dies.
What?
Kelechi looked toward the side of the hall. Blade lowered his eyes.
There is a bomb on this building.
The hall fell into horror. People began crying and shouting. Zikora stared at him like she was looking at something that could not be human.
You are the most horrible person I have ever known.
Kelechi's expression did not change, but something flickered in his eyes. Victor shouted,
Zikora, say no! Don't marry him!
My child, please. Save us, please.
Zikora looked around the hall. Her mother. Her father. Victor. The priest. People who had nothing to do with this madness. Slowly her hand dropped. The gun slipped from her fingers. She turned back to the priest, tears running down her face. When the question came, her voice was barely above a whisper.
Yes, I do.
The words killed something inside her. The priest's voice shook as he finished the ceremony.
I pronounce you husband and wife.
Paul was silent. Kelechi turned to Zikora.
I love you.
No. You don't love me. This is possession.
Kelechi frowned slightly.
What is the difference?
Zikora stared at him. That was when she understood how broken he really was. He did not even know. That night, Zikora entered the Obiora mansion as Kelechi's wife. Patricia and Susan stood at the entrance, dressed beautifully and smiling like kind family members.
Welcome home.
We are happy to have you.
Zikora looked at them and saw the hatred under their welcome. She said nothing. Later, Susan entered Patricia's room, furious.
She's lucky. That ordinary girl has stolen everything.
Patricia sat calmly by the mirror.
Be patient.
Patient?
Yes, she is inside our house now. That makes it easier.
Susan understood and smiled slowly.
We will find a way to deal with her.
In Kelechi's room, Zikora stood near the window, still in her wedding dress. Kelechi came in carrying a black velvet box.
I bought this from an auction.
She did not turn. He opened the box, revealing a diamond necklace that shone under the light.
It suits you perfectly.
Do you still think money can buy everything?
No,
Then why do you keep trying?
because I know how to give things. I am still learning how to give what you want.
She looked away. Kelechi came close and tried to kiss her. Zikora pulled back immediately. His face tightened, but he stopped. For a moment they stood in painful silence. Then Zikora, confused by her own anger and fear, stepped forward and kissed him quickly. Maybe she wanted to prove she was not afraid. Maybe she wanted to take control of something in a life where she had lost every choice. But Kelechi pulled away. Zikora looked at him in surprise. He breathed deeply.
No,
Is this not what you wanted?
yes, but not like this.
Her eyes searched his face. Kelechi looked away.
I don't want to force you to be intimate with me.
But you forced me to marry you.
The words landed between them. Kelechi had no answer. After a moment he said,
One day, you will come to me willingly.
Zikora turned back to the window.
Keep waiting.
He left her there, alone with the necklace she refused to wear. The next morning, Patricia and Susan complained openly in the sitting room, not knowing Kelechi was close enough to hear them.
That girl has no respect, parading around like she owns the place.
After last night, she needs to learn her place. She has not even spent one full day here, and he has already bought her diamonds.
If this continues, she will take everything.
Kelechi entered. Both women fell silent.
Zikora is my wife. She is entitled to everything I own.
Kelechi, you are going too far.
He turned to her.
The family wealth is not yours to control.
Patricia's face tightened. Susan looked down. Kelechi faced her.
You will apologize to Zikora
For what?
for disrespecting her before she even entered this house.
Susan looked at Patricia, but Patricia said nothing. Kelechi's voice became colder.
Now,
Susan had no choice. She went to Zikora, who was sitting quietly in the garden.
I am sorry.
Zikora looked at her.
For what?
Susan's mouth tightened.
For disrespecting you.
Zikora watched her for a moment.
Apology accept.
Susan turned away quickly before her anger showed too much. But inside, her jealousy had become something darker. Zikora had entered the mansion as a prisoner. Yet Kelechi was already treating her like the owner of the house. And Susan knew one thing clearly. If Zikora stayed, she would lose everything she believed belonged to her. Susan left the garden with her apology still bitter in her mouth. Zikora watched her go and knew the apology meant nothing. The Obiora mansion was beautiful, but peace did not live there. Every hallway felt like someone was listening. Every smile carried another meaning. Every act of kindness looked like it was waiting for a price. That evening, Zikora sat alone in the garden until the sky became dark. She heard footsteps behind her and already knew it was Kelechi.
She don't have to sit alone.
I prefer it.
He stood beside her but did not sit. Before he would have sat whether she liked it or not. This time, he waited. Zikora noticed. That annoyed her even more because she did not want to notice anything good about him. After a while, Kelechi spoke quietly.
I am beginning to understand something.
That kidnapping women is wrong?
His face tightened, but he accepted the insult.
That fear will not make you love me.
You are only discovering that now.
I know many things, but not this. Teach me
Teach you what?
how to be gentle.
For a moment, she did not know what to say. Kelechi Obiora stood in front of her like a man asking for something he had never been given. There was no pride in his voice this time, no threat, no command, just a strange kind of honesty. Zikora did not trust it.
Gentleness is not something you learn so you can win somebody.
I am not asking to win.
You always want to win.
Maybe. But I am tired of you looking at me as if I am only a monster. Zikora's face softened for a breath, then hardened again.
Then stop acting like one.
I will try. He did not argue. Then he walked away.
Zikora stayed there long after he left, angry with herself for feeling anything at all. The next week, Zikora returned to the hospital. She had resigned before, but Kelechi had somehow arranged everything with the director. Her name was restored to the staff list, and a new ward had been opened in her name. When she entered the hospital that morning, nurses gathered around her.
Your husband is too generous.
Imagine a whole building donated in your name.
You are blessed. Some women are really lucky.
Zikora smiled weakly and thanked them, but inside she felt trapped. They saw a lucky wife. They saw diamonds, wealth, and a powerful husband. They did not see the gun at the wedding. They did not see the fear. They did not see her father's shame. They did not see the way her life had been taken and dressed in silk. One nurse, Amaka, leaned closer and whispered,
My sister, whatever you used to catch that man, keep using it.
Some women laughed. Zikora forced herself to smile, but her chest was tight. She wanted to scream that nobody had caught anybody. She was the one who had been caught. Later that afternoon, as she walked toward the back of the hospital, she saw Victor waiting near the side gate. Her heart stopped.
Victor, what are you doing here?
He looked thinner. His eyes were tired.
I needed to see you.
You should not be here.
I know, but I can't just forget you like that.
Please leave before someone sees you.
Victor stepped closer.
Tell me you are all right.
She could not answer. He looked at her clothes, her face, the security man standing far away.
You are not happy.
Victor.
Come with me. We can still run.
No,
No?
I am married now.
You were forced.
Yes, but it is done.
Victor looked as if she had slapped him.
Done? Zikora, he ruined our wedding. He threatened your family, took you like property.
I know.
Then why are you speaking like this?
Because if you keep coming near me, he will hurt you.
I am not afraid of him.
Zikora held his hand quickly.
You should be.
Victor looked at their joined hands with pain in his eyes.
Do you still love me?
Zikora closed her eyes. She wanted to give him an easy answer. She wanted to say yes and make everything simple again. But nothing was simple.
Victor, please, stop looking for me.
His eyes filled with tears.
You are choosing him?
I am trying to keep you alive.
Unknown to them,
Unknown to them.
Susan had seen everything from inside a parked car. She smiled.
The photo was enough to become a weapon.
By evening, she was in Kelechi's study. Kelechi was going through some documents when she entered without knocking. He looked up.
What do you want?
Susan placed her phone on the table. On the screen was a photo of Zikora and Victor near the hospital side gate. Kelechi stared at it. His face went still.
Your wife is enjoying your money and still meeting her ex-fiancé.
Kelechi did not move.
I warned you about her. She's pretending to hate you, but she knows exactly what she's doing.
Kelechi picked up the phone. The photo showed Zikora holding Victor's hand. Something hot and ugly rose inside him. Jealousy. Not the small kind. The kind that made his chest burn.
Leave.
Brother, I am only trying to protect you.
I said leave.
This time, his voice was dangerous. Susan obeyed, but she left satisfied. She had planted the fire. Kelechi found Victor that night. Victor was in his studio, standing before an unfinished painting. The painting was of Zikora, but the face was not complete. The door opened. Victor turned. Kelechi walked in with Blade and 2 men. Victor stiffened.
Get out!
Kelechi looked around the studio. Canvases leaned against the walls. Paintbrushes sat in jars. There was no wealth there, only effort and hope.
You saw my wife today.
Victor's fear showed for only a second before anger covered it.
She was mine before you forced her.
She is my wife now.
She will never love you.
Kelechi's jaw tightened. Victor laughed bitterly.
That is what hurts you, isn't it? You can force a wedding. You can force people clap. But you cannot force her heart.
Kelechi moved so fast Victor barely saw it coming. He grabbed him by the collar and pushed him against the wall.
Do not speak like you know better than me.
Victor looked into his eyes and said,
I do.
For a moment the room became silent. Then Kelechi released him and stepped back.
Which hands did you use to touch her? What?
Kelechi turned to Blade.
Break them.
Blade hesitated. Kelechi looked at him. Blade's face tightened.
Boss. Do it.
Victor's eyes widened. The men held him. He struggled, shouting Zikora's name, but nobody came. Kelechi turned away before it happened. Even then, he heard Victor's cry, and something in him knew he had crossed a line again. But jealousy had already done its damage. By morning, Zikora found out. Victor's mother came to the hospital crying. She grabbed Zikora by the arm in front of everyone.
Are you happy now?
Mommy Grace, what happened? My son's hands.
Your husband destroyed my son's hands.
Zikora went cold.
No. His hands, Zikora.
The hands he used to paint. His life is finished because of you.
Zikora could not breathe. She left the hospital immediately and rushed back to the mansion. Kelechi was in the sitting room when she entered. She walked straight to him.
You broke Victor's hands?
He touched you.
Zikora stared at him like she did not recognize him.
He is an artist.
He should have stayed away from my wife.
She slapped him. The room froze. Servants stopped where they stood. Susan, watching from the staircase, smiled a little. Kelechi slowly turned his face back to Zikora. Tears filled her eyes.
You are a monster.
Kelechi said nothing.
You asked me to teach you gentleness. Then you destroy a man's future because of jealousy.
He came near you.
And that gave you the right to ruin his life.
Kelechi's silence made her angrier.
You do not love me. You love owning me. You love punishing anybody who reminds you that I had a life before you.
She turned and walked away before he could answer. After that day, Zikora stopped eating. At first, Kelechi thought she was only angry. Then one day passed. Then 2. The maids brought food and took it away untouched. Water sat beside her bed until it became warm. She barely spoke. She barely slept. Kelechi came to her room on the 3rd day. Zikora was sitting by the window, weak but stubborn. He stood at the door for a moment.
You need to eat.
She did not turn.
Zikora,
I heard you.
you can insult me. You can shout. You can hit me again if that helps. But you need strength.
She looked at him slowly.
If starving myself makes you suffer, then I will continue.
What do you want from me?
Apologize to Victor.
No.
Then leave me.
You want me to apologize to that poor artist who touched my wife?
I want you to apologize to the man whose life you destroyed.
Kelechi looked away, struggling with his pride.
If there is even a small human being left inside you, prove it.
Those words stayed with him. The next day, Kelechi went to Victor's studio. Victor was sitting with both hands bandaged. His mother stood beside him, her face full of hatred. Kelechi entered with Blade carrying a bag. Grace moved in front of her son.
Have you come to finish him?
Kelechi ignored her and looked at Victor.
I came to compensate you.
Blade placed the bag on the table and opened it. Money. Victor looked at it and laughed quietly.
Of course. There is 100 million there. Money cannot replace dreams.
Kelechi said nothing.
Those hands were my life. They were the only thing I had. You took them because you were jealous.
Kelechi swallowed his pride.
I am sorry.
Grace stared at him in shock. Victor's laugh became bitter.
Kelechi Obiora is apologizing to me.
Should I clap?
Kelechi's jaw tightened, but he stayed still.
I said I am sorry. Will sorry make my hands work again? Will sorry give me back Zikora? Will sorry give me back the man I was?
Kelechi did not answer. Victor leaned back, tears gathering in his eyes.
Kill me.
Victor.
Just kill me. I have already lost what matters.
Kelechi's face changed a little.
I will not kill you. Why? You already killed my future.
Kelechi looked at the bandaged hands.
Some things cannot be returned.
Victor stared at him. Those words did not comfort him. They planted something darker. As Kelechi left, Victor watched him go with hatred rising in his chest. Before, he hated Kelechi. Now he hated Zikora too. Because in his mind, all of it had happened because of her. A few days later, Inspector Daniel asked to see Kelechi alone. They met in the Okori house. Daniel looked older, but his eyes were still strong. Kelechi sat across from him, quiet. Daniel studied him for a long time.
You say you love my daughter.
I do.
No, Kelechi. You want her. There is a difference. Love is not control. Love gives the other person room to breathe. I am trying. Trying is not enough if you still hold a knife behind your back.
Kelechi looked down. For once, he did not defend himself. Daniel leaned forward.
My daughter is not a trophy. She is not a property. She is not a prize you won because you had more power than another man.
She saved me.
She treated your wound.
No, she saved me in more ways than that.
Daniel became quiet.
I have lived with blood, betrayal, enemies, and people who only stayed close because they feared me or wanted something from me. But when Zikora found me, she did not know my name. She did not care who I was. She just helped me. For the first time in years, someone looked at me like I was human.
Daniel looked at him, and for the first time his anger became mixed with something else. Understanding, maybe. But not forgiveness.
Kelechi, peace cannot be stolen from another person. And love cannot be forced. If you truly love her, give her time. If she does not choose you freely, then let her go.
The words seemed to cost Kelechi something. After a long silence, he nodded.
If she still does not love me after some time, I will let her go.
Neither man knew Zikora had come to the doorway and heard part of it. She stood there quietly, her heart confused. She had heard Kelechi say she made him feel human. She had heard him promise to let her go. She did not forgive him, not even close. But for the first time, she wondered if there was a wounded man hiding behind all that cruelty. Maybe he was still dangerous. Maybe he was still wrong. But maybe he was not empty. That thought frightened her in a different way. Later that night, Kelechi came home injured. He entered quietly, but Zikora saw the blood on his sleeve. She stood from the chair.
What happened?
Nothing.
You are bleeding.
It is small.
You men and this foolish pride.
He looked at her, surprised. She took the first aid kit and pointed to the chair. Sit.
Sit.
She cleaned the wound in silence. It was not deep, but it looked painful.
Pablo's men?
How do you know that name?
I listen more than people think.
He almost smiled. She pressed the cotton harder than necessary. He winced.
You know, Pablo shot me before. But the person who really hurt me that first day was you.
Me?
You hit me with your car.
I nearly hit you. There is a difference.
And then you insulted me while saving my life.
You were rude while bleeding.
For a second, something like a smile touched her lips. Kelechi saw it. He did not speak because he was afraid the wrong word would chase it away. After that night, things changed little by little. Not fully, not magically, but enough to be noticed. Kelechi started knocking before entering her room. He asked if she wanted to eat instead of ordering the maids to force food on her. When she said she wanted to visit her parents, he allowed Blade to take her and told him not to enter the house unless she asked. When she sat in the garden, he sat at a distance. Sometimes they spoke, sometimes they did not. But he waited. And waiting was not something Kelechi knew how to do. One night, Zikora found him in the sitting room, alone. The lights were low. He had a glass in his hand, but he had not touched it. She should have gone back upstairs. Instead, she sat on the other end of the sofa. He looked at her, but said nothing. After a long silence, he asked,
Do you miss your old life?
Every day.
He nodded slowly.
I took too much from you.
She turned to him, surprised by the honesty.
Yes.
I don't know how to undo it.
You cannot undo it.
He looked down.
But you can stop adding to it.
Kelechi nodded. They sat in silence again. He did not touch her. He did not move closer. He simply stayed there. And somehow, that quiet moment touched Zikora more than all the diamonds he had ever placed before her. She did not trust him fully. She did not forget what he had done. But she no longer saw only a monster. Patricia and Susan noticed. They saw the way Kelechi softened when Zikora entered a room. They saw how he waited for her answer before making decisions that concerned her. They saw how Zikora no longer flinched every time he came near. And fear entered their hearts.
If she wins him completely, we are finished.
Then she must not win.
Susan's next plan was quiet. Zikora had been taking medicine after the accident. Susan got access to the room through one of the maids and replaced the medicine with birth control pills. Then she called Victor. At first, Victor refused to speak to her.
What do you want?
Zikora still loves you.
Victor went silent.
She is trapped here. Kelechi is watching her. If you still care about her, come and take her away.
Victor's broken hands had healed badly, but his heart was worse. He wanted to believe Zikora still belonged to him. So he came. He entered through a side gate Susan had arranged to be left open. Zikora was in the garden when he appeared. She stood in shock.
Victor?
We have to go.
What are you doing here?
Susan told me everything. I know you're trapped. I came to take you away.
No, you should not be here.
Zikora, please. I lost everything, but I still love you.
Victor, I am so sorry for what happened to you.
Then come with me.
I can't.
Because of him,
She looked away.
you are falling for him.
It is not that simple.
Answer me.
She closed her eyes briefly.
My feelings have changed. I don't even fully understand them. But yes, something has changed.
Victor looked like the last part of him had broken.
He ruined me. And you fell in love with him?
I did not say it like that.
But that is what it means.
Before Zikora could answer, Susan appeared with Patricia and Kelechi. Kelechi's face hardened when he saw Victor. Susan lifted a small bottle in her hand.
Brother, before you defend her, you should see this. What is that? The pills your wife has been taking secretly.
Kelechi looked at the bottle.
Birth control pills. She has been pretending with you while planning to run away with her ex-lover. Why else would he be here?
Zikora's eyes widened.
That is a lie. Of course it is.
Kelechi looked at Zikora. There was pain in his eyes. Not just anger. Pain.
Kelechi, I did not take those.
He looked at Victor, then back at her. For a moment, it seemed like he wanted to believe her. Then Victor spoke.
She does not belong to you. You took my hands. You took my dream. You took the woman I was supposed to marry. What else do you want from me? Leave. No, kill me if you want. You already destroyed my life.
Kelechi moved toward him. Zikora quickly stood between them.
Stop.
Move.
No.
You are protecting him?
I am stopping you from becoming worse.
Victor shouted from behind her.
Let him do it. That is all he knows. Violence, threats, blood!
Kelechi's control began to break.
You came into my house. Again. Because of her. Everything I lost was because of her.
Victor.
His eyes were wild now.
You should have stayed away from me if you knew you would choose him.
The words hurt her. Kelechi heard them too, and something in him snapped. He pulled a gun from one of his men and pointed it toward Victor. Zikora gasped.
Kelechi, no.
Do it.
Kelechi's hand shook slightly.
Please, do not do this.
He looked at her hand on him, then at her face.
You are begging for him.
I am begging for you. Because if you kill him, you will lose whatever part of yourself you are trying to save.
Kelechi's breathing was hard. Susan watched quietly, disappointed that he had not already pulled the trigger. Patricia stood behind her, face unreadable. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Kelechi lowered the gun.
Get him out.
Blade stepped forward and held Victor. Victor did not fight at first. He only looked at Zikora with a pain that had turned into hatred.
He changed.
I am sorry.
No, you will be.
Blade dragged him away. Kelechi turned to Zikora, still wounded by what he had seen.
I want to believe you.
And believe me.
He looked at the pills in Susan's hand. Then he looked toward the gate where Victor had disappeared.
I am trying.
But trying was not the same as trusting. And as Zikora stood there between Kelechi's pain and Susan's lies, she knew the peace they had just begun to build was already cracking. The peace cracked that night. After Victor was dragged out of the mansion, Zikora stood in the garden with tears in her eyes. Kelechi stood a few steps away from her, holding the small bottle of pills Susan had shown him. He wanted to believe Zikora, but the pain in his chest was louder than reason. Zikora looked at him and said quietly,
If you cannot trust me, then everything you said about changing means nothing.
Kelechi did not answer. That silence hurt her more than shouting would have. She turned and walked away. Kelechi remained in the garden long after she left. For the first time in a long while, he felt helpless. He had money, men, power, and fear on his side. But he could not make Zikora's eyes stop looking at him with disappointment. He went to his study and locked the door. But Susan came to him later that night. She was dressed beautifully, with her hair arranged carefully and perfume filling the room before she even entered. Her eyes were soft, but there was something desperate under the softness. Kelechi looked up from his chair.
What do you want? Susan closed the door behind her.
I came to check on you.
I did not ask you to.
She swallowed the insult and moved closer.
Kelechi, why are you doing this to yourself? Zikora does not want you. She never wanted you.
Leave.
Susan did not leave.
She is using you. She is still tied to Victor. Can't you see it?
I said leave.
But I want you.
Kelechi froze. She stepped closer.
I have wanted you for a long time. Since my mother married your father, I admired you. We are not blood. We are only step-siblings. There is nothing wrong if you choose me instead.
Kelechi stared at her with disgust. Susan's eyes filled with tears, but she kept talking.
I can give you children. I can protect the Obiora name. I understand this family. I understand power. Zikora will only weaken you.
Kelechi moved back as if her words had touched something dirty.
Do not ever say that to me again.
Susan's face fell.
Kelechi.
Zikora is everything you are not.
The words hit her hard.
She has a heart. She has courage. She has truth in her even when that truth is against me. You only know envy and greed.
Kelechi pointed to the door.
Get out.
Susan stood there for a moment, humiliated. Then she turned and left. But as she walked down the hallway, her tears dried into anger. She could feel the Obiora name slipping away from her hands. She had grown up believing the mansion, the money and the respect would always belong around her. Now, one nurse had come in and taken Kelechi's heart without even begging for it. Susan could not accept that. But while she was planning her next lie, Kelechi's men were already working. Blade had not trusted Susan's story. He had seen too many things that did not make sense. The side gate had been left open for Victor. The pills had appeared too easily. Pablo's men had been moving strangely since the accident. And Susan always seemed to know too much before trouble happened. So Blade began to investigate quietly.
What did you see that night?
She entered the room and changed the medicine.
Within days, the truth started coming out.
You drove Susan to meet a man connected to Pablo, is it? Yes, sir. I did. And you didn't think to tell anyone?
Phone records showed that Susan had spoken to Victor before he came to the mansion. Another man confessed that Patricia had paid money to hide the first accident and keep Pablo quiet. When Blade brought everything to Kelechi, the study became silent. Kelechi sat behind his desk, listening without moving. Blade finished and placed the file before him.
Boss, Susan planted the pills. She arranged for Victor to come. She contacted Pablo. Madam Patricia helped cover the accident.
Kelechi's face became cold in a way Blade knew well.
Bring them. Patricia and Susan were brought to the study that night.
At first, Susan pretended to be innocent.
I don't know what they told you, but they are lying.
Kelechi threw the file on the table. Susan saw the photos, phone records, and statements. Her face changed. Patricia sat stiffly, trying to hold on to her pride. Kelechi looked at both of them.
You tried to kill my wife.
Kelechi, we only wanted to protect the family.
By killing Zikora?
I did not mean for it to go that far.
Kelechi stood.
You changed her medicine. You brought Victor here, worked with Pablo. You almost destroyed my marriage and endangered my wife.
Patricia's pride finally broke.
Please, we made a mistake.
Kelechi looked at her as if he did not know her.
A mistake is when you break our glass. This was a plan.
Susan fell to her knees.
Brother, please.
Do not call me that. I am not your brother, and you know it. She cried harder.
Kelechi turned to Blade.
Make them confess everything. Record it.
Kelechi, no. This will ruin us.
You ruined yourselves.
As they were taken away, Kelechi felt no peace. The truth was clear now. Zikora had not betrayed him. He had doubted her because fear and jealousy were still stronger in him than trust. Now he had to face her. That was the hardest part. But before he could speak to Zikora, another tragedy happened. Inspector Daniel was found badly beaten near his home. When Zikora saw her father lying on the hospital bed, her world broke again. His face was swollen. His breathing was weak. Her mother sat beside him, crying and shaking.
Daddy, please wake up.
Inspector Daniel opened his eyes only a little, but he could not speak clearly. Zikora's heart twisted. Then Patricia and Susan appeared at the hospital. Nobody knew who had called them. Susan rushed forward, pretending to be shocked.
Oh my God, what happened?
Zikora did not even have strength to answer. Patricia placed a hand on her chest.
This is terrible.
Then Susan looked at Zikora with careful sadness.
Zikora, you know who did this.
Zikora slowly turned to her. Susan lowered her voice.
Kelechi.
Zikora's body went cold. Patricia quickly added,
My dear, I know you do not want to believe it. But remember his threats. He said if you ever tried to leave, your parents would suffer.
He has said it many times. When Kelechi feels betrayed, he destroys people.
Zikora shook her head.
No.
But fear had already entered. She remembered Kelechi's words. If you run again, your parents will suffer for it. Her father groaned weakly on the bed. Zikora's eyes filled with tears. She did not want to believe Kelechi could do this after everything. But a part of her still remembered the man who had forced her into marriage, broken Victor's hands, and threatened everyone at their wedding. That fear pushed her into anger. She left the hospital and went straight to the Obiora mansion. In her father's room earlier that day, she had seen his spare gun in a drawer. This time she took it without thinking. When she entered Kelechi's study, he stood immediately.
Zikora?
She raised the gun at him. Kelechi froze. Blade moved from the side, but Kelechi lifted his hand to stop him.
Leave us.
Blade hesitated.
Leave!
Blade stepped out slowly. Zikora's hands were shaking.
How could you? You took everything from me. You helped my father.
What?
Do not lie to me.
I did not touch him.
You threatened him before.
Zikora, listen to me.
Stay there.
He stopped. Her tears fell freely now.
My father is lying in the hospital because of you.
No, I swear to you I did not do it. I asked my men to investigate as soon as I had.
You expect me to believe you?
Yes.
Why should I believe you after everything?
Kelechi's face tightened with pain, but he did not argue. Before he could answer, Blade entered again, breathing fast.
Boss, I told you to leave. I know, but we found something.
Zikora did not lower the gun. Blade looked at her, then at Kelechi.
The weapon used on Inspector Daniel has fingerprints. They belong to Victor Adeyemi.
No.
Phone records also show Victor was near the hospital and near the Okori house before the attack.
Zikora stepped back as if the room had shifted under her feet.
No. Victor would not do that.
I know it is hard to hear.
You are framing him.
Before anyone could speak, Victor entered the mansion with 2 officers behind him. He looked weak and wounded, his hands still partly bandaged.
I knew this would happen. He is trying to frame me.
Victor, tell me you did not touch my father.
Victor looked at her with hurt eyes.
How can you even ask me that?
Kelechi's jaw tightened. Victor pointed at him.
He is the one. He has the power. He has the men. He threatened your family from the beginning.
Zikora looked between both men, torn apart. Then her phone rang. It was her mother. Zikora answered quickly.
Mommy? Your father is awake. He is asking for you.
Everyone rushed to the hospital. Inspector Daniel was weak, but his eyes were clearer now. Zikora knelt beside him.
Daddy, who did this to you?
Daniel's gaze moved slowly across the room. It stopped on Victor. Victor's face changed. Daniel lifted a trembling hand and pointed.
Victor.
Zikora's whole body went still. Victor stepped back.
Sir, you are confused.
Daniel struggled to speak.
He came to me. He said Kelechi took everything from him. He said Zikora should have been his.
Victor's mask began to crack.
Victor.
He looked at her. For a moment, the gentleman she once loved stood there. Then bitterness swallowed him.
Yes.
The room became silent. He laughed softly, but it sounded broken. Yes.
Yes. I went to him.
Why?
Why?
Victor's eyes filled with tears and hatred.
Because Kelechi took everything from me. He took you. He took my dream. He took my hands. He took my future.
My father did nothing to you.
And what did I do to deserve all this? I loved you. I stood by you. I tried to marry you. And what did I get? Broken hands and pity.
You made your choices.
You destroyed my life.
I hurt you, yes, but you chose revenge.
Victor's eyes burned.
Then Blade entered with more documents and 2 police officers. There is more.
Zikora turned slowly. Blade looked at her gently.
We reopened your brother John's case.
Her breath caught. Inspector Daniel tried to sit up.
What? John's death was not connected to Kelechi's gang. The old report was altered.
Victor's face went pale. Zikora looked at him.
What is he talking about?
Blade handed the file to one of the officers. The officer spoke quietly.
There was an argument between John Okori and Victor Adeyemi years ago. John discovered Victor was helping Pablo's men move illegal money through art sales and fake exhibitions. John threatened to report him.
Zikora's lips parted.
No.
Victor shot John during the argument. Pablo's men helped him make it look like a gang attack. That was why the case became confusing.
Inspector Daniel looked as if his heart had been torn open again.
I trusted you. I almost gave you my daughter.
Victor's eyes darted around the room. He could no longer pretend. Zikora stared at him, broken.
You killed my brother?
He should have minded his business.
Almost collapsing, Zikora stepped back like Victor had become a stranger in front of her. The man she once trusted. The man she almost married. The man she had defended in her heart for so long. He had been the real shadow all along. Victor's voice rose.
John looked down on me. He said I was not good enough for you. He said he would expose me. All of you judged me. All of you made me feel small.
Zikora's tears fell silently.
You killed him. And you let my family blame the wrong people for years.
Do you know what it feels like to be nothing beside men like Kelechi? He has everything. Money, power, fear, even you.
You had my trust. You had my family's love.
Victor laughed bitterly.
Trust does not buy greatness.
The police moved toward him. Victor backed away. He suddenly pulled a small knife from his sleeve and grabbed one officer, creating chaos in the room. People screamed. Kelechi moved in front of Zikora and her father immediately. For once, he did not move like a man protecting property. He moved like a man protecting the people he loved. Victor shouted,
I cannot have my life back. You won't have yours either.
Victor, stop!
You chose him.
You destroyed yourself. Kelechi hurts you, but you chose revenge. You chose lies. You killed my brother. You attacked my father. Do not put that on me.
Victor shook his head like he could not bear the truth. More officers rushed in. They overpowered him and took the knife. In the struggle, one of the officers' guns fell. Victor saw it. Everything happened too fast. He grabbed the gun and pointed it at Zikora. Kelechi moved before anyone else could.
The gun went off. Zikora screamed. Kelechi stood in front of her, eyes wide for one short second, then blood spread across his shirt.
He fell. The room exploded into panic. Victor was tackled to the ground and arrested. Officers dragged him away while he shouted, but Zikora could no longer hear his words. She dropped beside Kelechi.
Kelechi, no, please.
His blood covered her hands just like the first day she found him on the road. Only this time she knew his name. This time the fear in her heart was not duty. It was something deeper. Kelechi looked at her weakly.
You are safe.
Don't talk. Stay with me.
You said that the first day.
Kelechi, please. Please don't die.
For the first time, Zikora realized she was not only afraid because a man was bleeding. She was afraid because Kelechi was bleeding. Because despite everything, despite the pain, despite the ugly beginning, a part of her cared for him more than she had wanted to admit. Doctors rushed him into surgery. Zikora stayed outside the operating room the whole time. Mrs. Rose sat beside her holding her hand. Inspector Daniel, weak but alive, was brought in a wheelchair later. Nobody spoke much. There was nothing to say. Hours passed. When the doctor finally came out and said Kelechi would live,
Mr. Obiora will leave.
Zikora covered her face and cried. Not loudly. Just quietly, like her body had been holding too much for too long. For days she stayed by Kelechi's side. When he opened his eyes, she was there. He looked at her and whispered,
You stayed?
You were shot because of me.
No. I was shot because Victor pulled the trigger already.
She looked down. He watched her with tired eyes. She did not answer.
She did not answer.
Not because she did
not hear him,
but because sorry was too small for everything they had survived. When Kelechi became strong enough to sit up, Zikora told him she wanted to leave the mansion.
I want to leave the mansion.
He looked at her for a long moment. The old Kelechi would have said no. The old Kelechi would have locked doors, called guards, made threats, and called it love. But this Kelechi only nodded slowly.
I promised your father. If you want to go, I will not stop you.
Zikora searched his face, almost expecting a trap. There was none. He continued.
I have no right to ask you for love after all the pain I caused you.
Her eyes softened, but she did not move closer.
I need to breathe.
I know.
I need to remember who I am without fear.
I know.
So Zikora left the Obiora mansion. For the first time since the nightmare began, nobody followed her. No black car waited outside. No guard watched the gate. No threat was placed on her family. She went back to her parents' house and stayed there. The house was quieter now. It carried grief, truth, and healing all at once. Inspector Daniel struggled with guilt. He had trusted Victor. He had almost handed Zikora to the man who killed John. He blamed himself until Zikora sat beside him one evening and held his hand.
Daddy, he deceived all of us.
I should have seen it.
You were grieving. We all were.
Mrs. Rose cried often for John all over again, but this time, at least, she knew the truth. Victor was taken away and charged for John's murder, the attack on Inspector Daniel, conspiracy with Pablo's men, and attempted murder. The police also discovered medical reports proving that Victor's hands had not been permanently destroyed as he claimed. One wrist had been badly injured, yes, and Kelechi had been wrong for ordering it. But Victor had exaggerated the damage, bribed a small clinic worker, and used bandages longer than needed to gain Zikora's sympathy and turn everyone against Kelechi. That truth hurt Zikora deeply. Not because it made Kelechi innocent. It did not. But because Victor had used her compassion like a weapon. Meanwhile, Kelechi did not chase her. Instead, he began to change. Not with speeches, with action. He handed over Pablo's network to the police and cooperated with the investigation. He cut off the violent men who had once worked under the Obiora name.
Your association with this family ends today.
He opened the family books to investigators, even when it cost him money and pride. He removed Patricia and Susan from power. Patricia was made to face the law for her role in the accident and cover-up. Susan was also charged for planting evidence, working with Pablo, and helping Victor enter the mansion. Before Susan was taken away, she looked at Kelechi with hatred.
You chose her over family.
No. I chose truth over poison.
The Obiora businesses changed slowly. Some people laughed and said Kelechi was only pretending. Others waited for him to return to his old ways. But he did not. Zikora watched from a distance. She heard about the men he dismissed. She heard about the hospitals he funded without putting her name on the donation. She heard about the families of past victims receiving support quietly and without cameras. For once, Kelechi was not trying to buy forgiveness. He was trying to become a better man, even if she never returned. Months passed. Zikora healed slowly. Some days, she hated him. Some days, she missed him. Some days, she remembered the bomb at the wedding and felt sick with anger. Other days, she remembered him sitting quietly beside her, waiting without touching her. Healing did not move in a straight line. One afternoon, Zikora went to see Kelechi. This time, no one brought her. No guard forced her. No fear pushed her. She went by herself. When she entered the Obiora mansion, the place felt different. Quieter, less proud, less hungry. Kelechi was in the garden when Blade told him she had come.
Zikora has arrived.
He stood so quickly his chair almost fell. When he saw her, he stopped.
Zikora.
She stood a few steps away from him.
You look better.
So do you.
Silence passed between them, but it was not as heavy as before. Kelechi gestured to a chair, but he did not tell her to sit. She noticed. And she sat, because she wanted to. For a while they listened to the wind move through the trees. Then Zikora spoke.
I cannot forget what you did.
I know. I am sorry.
I cannot pretend our beginning was beautiful.
I know.
You hurt me. You frightened me. You forced me into a life I did not choose.
Yes.
But I also cannot deny that you changed.
Kelechi lifted his eyes slowly.
I needed to see who you would become when nobody was forcing me to stay. When you had nothing to gain from doing good.
And what did you see?
A man trying. Not a perfect man. Not an innocent man. But a man trying.
Kelechi swallowed hard.
I did not know the difference between love and possession. I thought if I could protect you, provide for you, and keep you near me, then it was love.
Zikora's eyes softened.
You taught me I was wrong. Not by obeying me, by refusing to bow.
She looked away for a moment, fighting her own emotions.
Love cannot grow in a cage. It can only grow when both people are free.
I understand that now.
Zikora stood slowly. Kelechi stood too, but he did not move toward her. She looked at him and saw the difference. The old Kelechi would have reached for her. This one waited. That touched her more than any diamond necklace ever could.
I am not running into your arms.
I did not expect you to.
I am choosing slowly.
I will wait.
Do not make it sound too easy. I may still insult you sometimes.
I deserve more than sometimes.
Zikora almost smiled too.
Then she stepped closer and took his hand. Not because he owned her. Not because fear pushed her. Not because money bought her. Because she chose to. Kelechi looked down at their joined hands, and for a moment he could not speak. Zikora looked at him calmly.
We start again. Not as captor and captive. Not as billionaire and nurse. Not as a man who forced and a woman who feared.
Then as what?
As two wounded people trying to build something honest from the ruins.
Kelechi held her hand gently, like he finally understood that love was not something to grip until it bled. It was something to hold with care. Their story did not end with perfection. There were wounds that would still need time. There were memories that would still hurt. There were apologies that would have to be lived, not just spoken. But for the first time, the choice belonged to Zikora. And because the choice was hers, hope finally had room to breathe. Power had forced a wedding, but only change, patience, and truth could earn love.